But in bondage. Lift your hand and tell the Lord thank you.
Thank you, Lord. Jesus.
Yeah. Lord, you praise. We're going somewhere in the Lord. This is the beginning of something new. We're going to praise God. We're going to worship the Lord. And can I say something? Just not as your pastor, but as a man of God. This may not be for you. So you might need to find another place where you can, But as for me and my house, the word says we shall serve the Lord. It's time to serve God from a sincere heart. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, it makes no sense for you to spend your life in church only to go to hell. If you're going to go there, go partying. Just go on and throw a party for life and go on to hell. But if you're going to come, make it count for something. I want to say thank you, Jesus. We've been teaching a series on this generational stuff. Generational stuff. Stuff that keeps coming up over and over and over and over again. Just keeps showing up. One generation to another. The same junk, the same mess, the same spirit. Just keeps surfacing. Well, I'm committed to breaking some of that junk. To break that spirit that's vexing your family. Your children, your grandchildren, your children, because it's generational. I've been saying I'm going to deal with this mystical stuff, and I'm going to deal a little bit more with it today. So I left a lot of it because I left some room for to see how the Spirit of the Lord will use me today, and I wanted to not be held just to my nose. So I left some leeway for me to work through it, and I'll skip over and do some of those things. So let's start moving. The beginning message was the repeat and the breakthrough. The repeat is the cycle that keeps showing up over and over and over from one generation to another. It's just a cycle of stuff. Yeah. The breakthrough. What I use for the breakthrough, I use the story of Abraham. From Abraham all the way to Joseph. There was strife between brothers that was started by Sarah, Abraham's wife, when she told him to go into Hagar. Maybe that God will give you seed through my maiden. And when she conceived, she got envious of her and wanted to put her out. Later she conceived and bore Isaac, so you got Ishmael for Hagar, Isaac for Sarah. And then Sarah kicks Hagar out because now that she is conceived, she don't want Ishmael to receive any of Abraham's inheritance. That's low down. Okay, like it. You told him to do it, and now you don't want the boy to receive blessings from his father. Can I tell you something? This stuff ain't just a story. It's real. Now you got strife between Ishmael and Isaac. That's got nothing to do with them, but the stuff that's been put in them. And at Abraham's funeral, there's a relationship between now Isaac and Ishmael, his brother, and because God has blessed Isaac and Ishmael. It's just Ishmael is blessed just as much as Isaac is. So at Abraham's funeral, they called Isaac sends for Ishmael. But what we don't talk about is Abraham remarried Keturah and had other sons and daughters. So at the funeral, Isaac go gets Ishmael, his other rich brother, but he don't get the rest of his brothers and sisters. That sounds like our funerals, don't it? Show you how real that is. This goes on because then Jacob's wife, the same thing. She favors one brother over the other brother, so you got strife between Jacob and Esau. And Esau just as blessed as Jacob. And I keep saying to y'all every Sunday, some of y'all hadn't gotten it. I don't care what your situation or circumstances, when God got his hands on your life, ain't nothing the devil in earth or hell can do to stop what God has for you when his hand is on your life. You might be in a bad situation, but you are not your situation. It's just a momentary situation that you're going through. If you keep your eyes on the hill, know that God is your source. I promise you, God will bring you out. Man is not your source. God is your source. David said it best. He said, blessed is the man that make the Lord his trust. He said he's a blessed man if he make God his trust and don't put no confidence in man. He said don't even put confidence in princes. Those are leaders and rulers and people with money. Don't put no confidence in them. James said it's the rich that keep oppressing you and taking you to court because you favoring them and they don't care nothing about you. But when God Now see this hand? Look at your hand. Look at your right hand. This represents God's anointed powers. Say, my hand, but your spirit, God. Now take your anointed hand and put it up on your shoulder. Good God Almighty. And say, in the name of Jesus, let the blessings roll. Do what your word says. You said you'll cause men blessings to run me down. You'll cause men to sow in my bosom. You will cause blessings to seek me out and chase me to the ground. Prophesy to yourself and say, I am happy in the blessings of the Lord that makes rich and he added no sorrow. Lift both your hands up and say, thank you. Say, come on, talk to somebody. Say, I am rich in Jesus. Now we get ready for the manifestation of the Spirit. That's when what is spiritually true becomes a natural reality. There is rich and there is richness. Rich means you can have monetary money, but richness is when you got wealth in your spirit. That's when you ain't never broke. So they move from the spirit of strife to unconditional love. Richness is you ain't never broke because you got wealth in your spirit. I realize that when God blesses you and anoints you, you got richness in your spirit. Wealth is in your spirit. And wealth attracts wealth. Money attracts money. Don't fool yourself. Poverty attracts poverty. Don't fool yourself. Oh, Abraham to Joseph. Joseph breaks the cycle because he shows unconditional love. Through one man, sin entered the world, and then sin and death through sin, and all of that has come upon us to show how stuff is transferred from one to the other. The result of Adam, all of us now born sinners in need of grace and salvation, grace and so forth. So you know that by now. This is the beginning of transference of spirit, of transmission of guilt. I want to right here, the generations are being passed down. So all of the seed in Adam now is tainted by his decision to disobey God. And your children great can be affected by your commitment to obey or your refusal to obey God. God said, I will bless the children up until the third and fourth generation, showing mercy to them. But there's another side, but also cursing those who rebelled against you. Moses said, this day I set before you, when he was talking to Israel in the wilderness, I set before you two things, blessings and curses. Okay. Disease, mental illness, it goes on to say addiction, violence, and so forth. All this generational stuff that keeps coming up. Put past one, pass to the other, pass to the other. Nobody wants to break it. We break it today. This is a scripture I've been sharing. John said, Jesus said, and his disciples asked him, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that this man was born blind? Jesus said, neither one, but this is done for the glory of God. They're trying to establish that this is a generation situation that is being played out in this man, that he's born blind. 2 Timothy established the fact that Paul said to Timothy, you are blessed. But you're not blessed because of just you. You're blessed because your grandmother was anointed, and she passed that anointing to your mother. And your mother laid it, passed it on to you. And I come to lay hands on you to stir up the gift that was given to you by. Want y'all to be blessed. All right, you got to stop acting fool, start fasting blessings upon them. I know they acting a fool, but you stretch out your hand and say, bless, Lord, in the name of Jesus. Loose blessings upon them. No, the rap's bad. But curse that spirit and loose the anointing of God.
Yes, Lord.
The Lord is long-suffering and abundant in mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, but he by no means cleared the guilty, visiting iniquities of the on the children to the third and fourth generation. God ain't playing with y'all. Legions means demons that dug down into generation and family lines and been there for generations. Not just numbers, but it shows you how they've been dug down. This is where I gave the story last week, and I want to pick this story up, and from here I'm going to make several points. But I want to go back to recap this story, because it takes me really for you to get it. This is the story, 2 Samuel 21, of David's generation of fight with Goliath. No, it's not the one. This is the first one. How Goliath's children, brothers, cousins, took up Goliath's fall to come against David. And 30 years later, Goliath's children was coming to kill David. But they grew up with the same bitterness and anger from killing their dad. They couldn't get deliverance. And so 30 years later, they acting out, taking up their father's call, their mother's call to act out. And so they come in against David. 30 years later, they still got that anger. We're going to kill you. That's Goliath's family situation coming against David. All right, here's where I want to move on. Let me get to this. Strife, you know what the definitions of it right now. That's it up there. It's been up there every Sunday. All right, let's move. I want to pick up where I left off last Sunday. I'm going to go back to this story, and then I'm going to make several points. And I'll skip through some of it today so I can get to the points that I want to make. So I won't have to back on the next Sunday. This section is when brothers fight. Now, this story deals with Judah and Israel, two brothers. Two brothers' descendants quarrel over King David. Two brothers, because all of them are sons of Jacob. Two brothers, descendants, quarrel over King David. Look at this now. This is the story. It deals with the story, the spirit, and the strife continues. How it's continually showing up. 2 Samuel chapters 19 and chapter 20 deals with a fight between brothers about a brother and how it ended. The fight between brothers about a brother. The fight between brothers about a brother. That's what 19 and 20 is all about. Now the king went on to Gilgal, and Chittim went on with him. Now all the people of Judah, say all the people of Judah, escorted the king. Now I told you on last week that Absalom had momentarily seized portion of David's kingdom. He's gotten some of the cities together, the military together. David was older now and weaker, and so Absalom declared himself as the king. And now he's gotten the military together and taken some of the cities. And David really is afraid. David goes in hiding because he's old and weaker. But Joab and Abithar, his brother, who's the two leading commanders of David's army, says, King, what do you want us to do? He said, well, go and see if you can get him and talk to him and deal with him. And Joab says, no. You taught me that when anybody makes himself an enemy of the king, he's not allowed to leave. Kill him. David said, he's my son. Joab said, but he's your enemy. David said, well, go get him and see if you can talk some sense in him. But David knew when Joab left, he's going to kill him. And sure enough, he caught him, killed him. In the process, David installed Solomon, who he had promised to Bathsheba that he would be the heir to his throne, which he did do. So David now is coming back to Judah, the city of David, to be reinstated, more or less, as Judah and Israel's true only king. So they're in a reinstatement process, and they're honoring him. This is where the story picks up. And all the people of Judah escorted the king, and half of the people of Israel, say all of Judah, half of Israel. Then all of the men. Now, how many we just said? How many of Israel? Hey, by the time they get to the city of David, the rest of the men of Israel are there. So they join ranks, and now you got all of the men of Israel came to David, the king, and said, why have our brethren, the men of Judah, stolen you away and brought the king and his household and all of David's men with him across the Jordan? In other words, Okay, you had all of Judah, you had some of us. Why didn't you get all of us like you got all of them? Well, he didn't get none of it. It just so happened that all of Judah came and some of Israel came. It wasn't an intentional plot or nothing. Yes. But they were upset about it, and so they confront David the king and say, all of the men of Judah, and ask him, why have you done this? So all of the men of Judah answered the men of Israel. Look what they say. Because the king is a close relative of ours. Wait a minute. All of y'all are the descendants of Jacob. All of y'all are brothers to children. I said this last Sunday, and I got to go back with this. Isn't it amazing of the little minute stuff we fight about? That makes no sense. And you want the world to respect you as a believer. And you arguing about junk that is so insignificant. We kill each other over nothing. Over $3, $5. We are robbing, killing in the person's life. Because he stepped on your tennis shoe. Because they looked at you the wrong way. Talking about he dissing me. What was it? I look at you a certain way, and that's ground for you to kill me? And this ain't just in the world, this is in the church.
Come on, Pastor. Yes, sir.
It said, so Judah says, well, he's a closer, because David is a direct descendant of Judah. When that? But they're all brothers' children. He's a close relative of ours. Why then are you angry? Because we can't help it that he came to us closer. Then the men of Israel answered the men of Judah and said, we have 10 shares in the king. In other words, it goes back to the two. Remember, Jacob's wife, one wife had 2 children, Joseph and Benjamin. Leah had 10. They arguing about how many children each mama had, and they all belong to Jacob. Now, go, what is this? We got 10 shares in the king. And they're going to say, therefore, we also have more right to David than you. They fighting because one say he close a relative, others say we got more brothers in the family. And this is what they're fighting about. How ridiculous. And it's the same stuff we fight about every day. So I search for stories that speak directly to your situation. Now it happens to be a rebel. 15. It happens to be a rebel. Say a rebel. You know that devil's going to show up another way. He ain't satisfied with that. We're going to tear him off. Whose name is Sheba, the son of Bickri. His name you sound like Bickering, but that just happened to be where it is. A Benjamite. Now you know Benjamin is Joseph's brother. So that tells you he's a descendant of Benjamin. Another brother, child. Same father Jacob. A Benjamite. And he blew a trumpet and said, because he's saying, well, David won't go with Judah. He won't go over here with Israel. I'm a descendant of Benjamin. So I'm going to blow a trumpet and send out an alarm and say, we have no share in David. In other words, that's all of us rejected. Nor do we have an inheritance in the son of Jesse. Uh-oh. Now you're getting there to reject the Lord's anointed. The Lord's inheritance. God said, this right here, David, is none like him. God Almighty. And I promise and swore to him that if he be obedient to me, that shall never cease to be an heir to sit upon his throne. He was talking about Jesus. That's a messianic prophecy about Jesus, because Jesus is a direct descendant and heir of David, and he sits upon the throne in glory right now. So that he sitting in the throne of glory is an extension of David's throne. So God's prophetic word is true. Jesus, as an heir earthly of David, sits upon the throne of God in heaven. Son of God and the heir of David. He said, let us reject the son of Jesse. Every man to his tent, O Israel. So every man, Israel, deserted David and followed Sheba. He's no leader, he's no nothing. Y'all better stop listening to all of these make-believe rascals trying to lead revolt. Ain't going nowhere. Let me talk to you today. God has a way. And God put his hands upon people. And he consecrates them to do specific works and assignments. And what God has for you is for you. Nobody walk in all of that. Learn, and I'm going to deal with that a little bit later. Just give me a few minutes. Get to it quickly. Learn how to follow the Spirit of God and stop following all these little rebel revolts and stuff. Church over here, church over there, group over here, club over there. We for Jesus, like ain't nobody else for it. One Spirit, one body, one baptism, one Lord, one God, who is above all, through all, and in you all. Therefore, Paul said, let us pray for the unity of the Spirit, the perfecting of the saints, until we all come into the unity of the faith, and to a full stature and perfect man. Therefore, I have said in the church these gifts, first the apostle, prophet, and so forth, for the perfection of the saints and the work of the ministry. Following all these little make-believe groups. All these self-appointed leaders and preachers. I'm going to give you the word for that. Jesus said, if the blind lead the blind, they both born into the ditch. There's no pity if you choose to follow a blind person. God said you will suffer the same fate of his blindness. Lift your hand and tell the Lord thank you. So anyway, Sheba leads a revolt against David, goes on. We have nothing to do with it. So, many centuries later, this is the gist of the story. The brothers are still fighting, the fight is still alive, proving that when issues are not dealt with properly, they are ongoing. To save families and generations, you have to destroy the source at the root. You got to get rid of that. Hebrews says, look carefully lest anyone fall short of God, lest any root of bitterness spring up cause trouble, and by this many become defiled. Be very careful, lest you also fall short of God, lest any root of bitterness springing up causes trouble, and by this many become defiled. Here's the solution right quick. So Joab goes to David and says, okay, we got another situation. Absalom dealt with. Now we got another rebel, Sheba. And so David says to Joab, well, he may be a worse problem than Absalom, so this time I'm going to thank you. Go ahead and do whatever you need to do. So Joab gathered David's military, they go after him, and they put out a word, whoever got Sheba, whatever city housed Sheba, we're going to burn it to the ground. Because he's an enemy of the king. Y'all better be glad y'all ain't in the Old Testament. I have an empty church today. Old Testament say there's none righteous, no, not one. That's New Testament, but in the Old Testament it said if God was to count out our faults and iniquities, who would be left standing? But there is forgiveness with you. That's David's writing. A woman of wisdom intervenes. This is why I want to tap in this, and then I'm going to go to several quick special notes just later. So Sheba runs and hides And some of the cities got the word that if we house Sheba, they're gonna kill us too. So they closed their door and said, you can't come in here. But he got further enough away from the city of David to where he got in a city where they didn't know too much about what was going on. So he got in there and hid in that city. So Joab finally got word where he was. He brings the military, he leads the military portion of it with every city because they're going to burn everything all the way to the city that they found. So here you go. And the wise woman cried out from the wall. So when they got to the city, they had locked the gates because they saw the military coming. And they knew that's weird. Something happened here. Something in trouble. Joab and Abner and all of the mighty men of valor had surrounded the city. What's going on? We're getting ready to be destroyed or something. So the wise woman goes up to the wall at the top of the city. And she says, here, please say to Joab, come to the wall, come to the gate, identify himself so I can know who he is, that I might speak with him. This is the woman, thank God. Lift your hand and say, thank God for women of wisdom. I got a pause right here. Come on, I know the women right here. This ain't Mother's Day or Women's Day, but let's just go on and take a quick pause break. Come on, men, go on and give them a little glory. Say, thank God for women of wisdom. Now let me be a little bit messy, because they were women that got this junk started. Sarah and messing with Hagar and all. But thank God there's a woman that helped bring it to an end. Tell your neighbor. Let's just go and finish the word there. So a woman of wisdom, thank God for women. No wonder in Joel they say, let the moaning women and the praying women get between the porch and the altar and cry out. Spare your people, oh God. For God will hear the prayers of the wailing women and the moaning women who wait before the Lord in prayer. So this wise woman says, calls them and says, let him come to the wall that I might speak with him. And then she goes on to say, now, I know that they got rebels in this city. I know it's troublemakers in here. But I am among the peaceable. Everybody ain't a hellraiser. So she lets him know, I'm from a peaceable clan. I am among the peaceable. I know y'all think I'm messing with Pastor. Just no. I'm enjoying teaching the word. I'm among the peaceable. I'm faithful in Israel. You seek to destroy a city and a mother in Israel. She got the king's main captain of his whole military. They got to stop him in his track. That's what prayer do. Because he sure was coming to destroy it. She said, hold up now. I'm a mother in Zion. I'm the Lord's anointed too. Why would you swallow up the inheritance of the Lord? In other words, I done heard now you come to kill a man that's an enemy of the king, but you getting ready to destroy all the innocent people and get ready to kill even me, a mother in Zion, the Lord's inheritance. There are a lot of peaceable people here that don't have nothing to do with this. So she talks to Joab and asks in essence, what can we do so that innocent blood won't be shed? Joab said, this is not so, but deliver me Sheba only, and I will depart. So in other words, the woman said, so if I bring you Sheba, you will spare this city and all the other cities? He said, yes. Look what this woman of wisdom said. Watch. Say watch. Watch. Come on, get it anointed like you're a preacher. Watch. Say watch. Check. I'm going to make them think they're preaching for a minute. They're going to holler watch and there you go. Say watch. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Look at your neighbor. Say watch. She says watch. His head will be thrown to you over the wall. Then this woman, they said last week, this woman of wisdom put out a hit for Sheba. It's one thing, Brother Coleman, when the devil put a hit out on you. What you gonna do when the saints put a hit? But if it's gonna save my house, if it's gonna save my family, if it's gonna save my church, I'm gonna deliver the devil's hand. The woman put a hit out and said, go find Sheba. They found Sheba, brought him to the wall. The woman, she takes one of the men's, this is what the commentator said, because it's not sure what's in there. She takes the sword of one of the men. She don't tell them to do it. She takes the sword and cut off his head. Because you getting ready to destroy a city. And she snatches his head by the hair, picks it up, and throws it over the wall. And says, that is your house. Now leave us alone. Jesus Christ. And the people go free. My last notes on that, and I'm going to move to my few points right after this. If you're going to end the generation of stuff, first thing you got to do is seek out the source. She found the source of the trouble. That was Sheba. If you don't deal with your Shebas, your family and everybody run the risk of getting destroyed because you let that same troublemaking joke hang around and spread that same venom from one to the other, and families are getting wiped out along the way because you're not dealing with the source. Jesus said the axe is laid to the root of the tree. If it's not a good tree, cut it at the root, pull it up and put it in the fire. Don't let it stay there. If you're going to break generational stuff, you got to deal with the source. Then this same woman of wisdom that was God's anointed, woman in line, cut off Sheba's head. To walk this walk, saints, it called for some bodaciousness.